Hello friends, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well myself. My name is Nduts or Auntie Wamaju, and today I'm making a meal that required herb butter. Uh, Herb butter is a butter that you can make at home and add just the herbs or the herbs that you like, that are your favorite. Today I'm going to be making a sage herb butter, the herb sage. To make a homemade butter, it's very important to have good quality heavy cream, the kind that you would get in a farm. Maybe if you can access raw milk, you find that the cream separates away from the raw milk, and that would be the perfect cream to make a homemade butter. But since sometimes you cannot access that, you can get heavy cream from a shop. Like in my case, I'm using heavy whipping cream from the brand Great Value. This is from Walmart. And what we're going to do is that we are going to whip it until we get to that stage of a whipping cream. So I'll show you the different stage. We'll scoop out some of that cream to use in our pancakes, and then we'll continue whipping it until we get butter. That is where in the process the butter or the fat will separate from the buttermilk, and we'll still keep the buttermilk aside to use in like biscuits or pancakes. Yeah, so let's do this. Hey love, so I'm pouring all the 946 ml of this heavy cream, or 1 quart, 1 liter. So pour it all into the KitchenAid. This is very helpful because the KitchenAid is quite strong and we need a very strong machine for this. If it's a hand mixer, it will just keep us there for long. So we're going to mix this until it comes to a whipped cream stage, so nice and firm. I'm not going to add any seasoning, any salt or sugar. I'm going to make it plain, and even the cream I set aside will be plain because sometimes we serve that with keto waffles. We don't want any sugar in it. So at this stage, this is soft and still firm enough to set aside for the whipped cream. So that's enough for our breakfast meal. So I'm returning the whisk back. You want to use the whisk attachment and not any other. We will keep stopping to scrape the sides so that we incorporate every bit of this. And we are going to have this going for some time. As it gets closer to separate, we might have to cover this. Some KitchenAids have an attachment where it covers the KitchenAid, the bowl, so that it doesn't splatter. But for us, we might have to use a cling film so that we prevent it from splattering everywhere. Keep scraping the sides, and at this point you see it thicken, but it doesn't separate immediately. It takes quite a while. By whipping it like this, you're getting the fat to come together and separate away from the incorporated liquid. So this will take quite some time. At this juncture, we cover. The fat is coming together. The milk is splattering everywhere. We are going to get a very good quality buttermilk, which is perfect for pancakes or breakfast biscuits. It goes just so well. And this is the product you get when you're whipping the cream to get butter. So this is how the buttermilk is made. And I do guess that they add some culture because when you get the store-bought, it's a bit thicker than this. So our butter is actually done. The fat has come together eventually. It does take some patience to do this. So we're going to sieve out our buttermilk just like that, put it in a jug, and then we'll set it aside, a big enough jug. So we got a 1 3/4 cup, which is perfect for our pancake mix. And we are still going to squeeze this as much buttermilk as we can, because some of it is retained in this blob. So squeeze out as much as you can before we start the rinsing process. And for rinsing, you require really cold water. If you can get some water from the fridge and still add some ice cubes, that would work perfectly. So I'm preparing here my water, very cold water, a couple of ice cubes, and I'm going to rinse my butter. You want to wash out all that milky liquid that's still there, and then rinse it again once more, and then squeeze as much of that clean water as you can. You don't want your butter to have too much water retained. So I've kept aside some butter, plain butter. You can keep it that way, just unsalted for whatever recipes you have. And then here I just took a couple of sage leaves and I added some parsley leaves just to flavor it some more. And I also added some salt, just like a 1/4 teaspoon. You want to keep it minimal, and then you want to shape it once you massaged everything in it. Now at this point, I know some people wonder, how come you don't use gloves for this kind of work? This is because a glove can tear and, just incorporating that butter, and it would be so unsavory, so messy to find it in the butter. So using clean hands is the best way to work in the kitchen. I did want to I wanted to divide my butter so that it's in serving portions for when I want to add it in a steak or fish. And that was the whole point of making this homemade butter. And then I decided we hardly ever use unsalted butter. So I came in with some Himalayan salt and just added it into my butter, into my plain butter. And I'm going to still do the same thing, just use my hands to knead the salt in. You can make it into like a stick or add into a bowl and just make some marks on it so that it looks pretty when you're serving. And this is one of the meals we did with the butter.